Deep down, I hoped she would alter her mind. Then came Thanksgiving. I called Caleb a week prior. I asked if they were coming. I told him I would make whatever they liked. Anything. I simply wanted to see them. He said he'd talk with Sierra and get back to me. 2 days later, I received a text from her, not him. We've decided to have our own celebration this year with people who understand where we're at in life. We don't eat with people who can't evolve. That one sentence clarified everything. It didn't involve food, toys, or ingredients. It was about me. She believed I was less. Old. Outdated. Ignorant. Useless. I didn't weep immediately. I was just standing in the kitchen with my phone in hand. I stared at the stove, the fridge, and the wall where my husband used to lean when I cooked. I cooked anyhow. Out of habit. Out of hope. I roasted the turkey, made the stuffing, sweet potatoes with micro marshmallows, and green bean casserole, the same recipes I had been cooking since 1987. I also remade the dry vegan loaf just in case. But no one arrived. I sat at the head of the table. One plate. There's no music. There's no conversation. Just the ticking of an ancient wall clock. Following supper, I scrubbed the dishes. I didn't eat dessert. That night, something inside of me cracked. I entered the guest room and turned on the light. I gazed at the cot, the toys, the baby books, and the small socks I had purchased from the secondhand shop. I took up one of Caleb's old teddy bears and simply stared at it. It seemed like grief, but not to my spouse this time. It was for the family I believed I still had. At 1 a.m., I was unable to sleep. I loaded the cot, high chair, toys, blankets, and books into my van. It required 4 trips. I did not even cry while doing it. I was numb. The next morning, I drove everything downtown. There is a women's refuge near the bus station. I told the woman the truth. I saved all this for my grandchild, but they don't want it. Maybe someone here will. She grabbed my hand and squeezed it. She said nothing, just nodded. It was the nicest thing I'd felt in a long time. A week passed. By silence. Then Caleb called. "Hey, Mom." His voice was tense, as if he was attempting to be nonchalant but falling short. "Sierra and I were thinking of coming down this weekend, so you can meet the baby." I did not respond right away. I waited till I could communicate clearly. "Why now?" He paused. "I guess we just realized family matters." I stood in the hallway, staring at the portrait of him as a little boy. "There's nothing here for your baby anymore," I explained. "You made your choice. I've made mine." There was a prolonged hush. Then, the line clicked. He had hung up. That was 6 months ago. I have not seen them since. 3 weeks ago, Caleb arrived at my door by himself. What he told me altered everything. Caleb arrived on a Saturday morning. There was no warning, no text, simply his car driving into the driveway as it did when he was in college. I was sitting in the living room, folding laundry. I peeked out the window and watched him exit the car alone. No baby carrier. No Sierra. He looked different. Tired. Not just the new parent is fatigued. Tired and worn down. His face was paler. His eyes are hollow. His shoulders dropped when he noticed me at the door. I didn't open it immediately. I just stood there waiting and watching. He raised his hand to knock, but stopped when I opened the door. "Hi, Mom," he said. I didn't respond. I merely stood aside. He took it as a yes. He walked in slowly, as if the floor would collapse beneath him. I sat down on the couch without being asked. I remained standing. "Lastly," I stated, "why are you here?" He did not glance at me. His gaze remained fixated on the old coffee table, the one with the scratch he made when he was 7. "I'm sorry," he replied. Quiet. "I'm really sorry." I still waited. "She left," he said. My heart didn't race. My stomach did not flip. I felt nothing at first, just feeling numb again. "When?" I asked. 2 months ago. He claimed she took the baby. She said she wanted some space. They said I wasn't supportive enough. She's currently in Seattle with her sister. I swallowed hard and he looked up at me. His eyes were crimson. "I haven't seen my daughter in 8 weeks. She won't let me FaceTime her. Won't send pictures. She says I'm emotionally unstable and too tied to regressive influences. That means you, Mom." I did not say anything. I just sat across from him. "I didn't defend you," he said, his voice shaking. "I let her push you out. Every time you tried to help or reach out, I let her shut it down. I told myself it was easier to keep peace with her than to stand up for you. I was weak. He ran 2 hands through his hair. I thought I was being a good husband. I thought compromising meant keeping things smooth. But I gave up too much. I let her cut you out. And then she cut me out too. I leaned forward carefully. Why are you really here, Caleb? He caught my gaze, and for the first time in years, I recognized my son, not the guy she'd molded him into. I need your help, he said. He retrieved a folder from his bag. Legal documents, custody forms, SMS, and emails. She's filing for sole custody, claims I'm not safe, that I let toxic people near the baby. He paused. She named you in the documents, said you tried to give her outdated, dangerous items, and that I exposed our child to a woman resistant to growth and modern parenting values. I looked at the folder and then at him. I've already met with a lawyer, he stated. But the judge is leaning her way. She has money, her family's helping her. I'm not asking you to take sides. I know it's a lot. I need someone who remembers who I was, who can tell the court I'm not what she says I am. I leaned back and folded my arms. And why would I do that? I inquired. Why should I fight for a man who left me out of his life, who stood by while his wife made me feel like trash? His eyes flooded with tears. But he did not beg. He only nodded slowly. You're right, he replied. I don't deserve your help. And for a long time, neither of us said anything. But then I noticed something. Something he could not fake. Shame. It's a real shame. I got up and walked into the guest room. I hadn't gone in there since the night I handed everything away. I opened the closet. One item had been left behind. A tiny book titled, Guess How Much I Love You. I intended to put it in the donation bin, but it somehow slipped between the shelves. I brought it back into the living room and placed it on the table in front of him. Start by reading this to her, I told her, even if she can't hear you right now. When he looked down at the book, he began to cry. I did not hug him. Not yet. But I did not ask him to go either. That was 3 weeks ago. Sierra's sister recently shared a photo on Instagram. A photo that altered everything. And gave me a notion for a revenge I never dreamed I'd carry out. Sierra's sister posted the photo on Instagram. I don't follow her, but a neighbor's daughter, who is still in touch with Caleb, noticed it and forwarded it to me. It featured Sierra enjoying an outside breakfast, smiling broadly and clutching a mimosa. Her daughter, my granddaughter, was seated on the lap of another mother. That part did not hit me right immediately. I was too concentrated on Sierra's expression, as if she were impenetrable and the entire universe had conformed to her way of doing things. But then I looked more closely. The woman holding the infant was not her sister. I zoomed in. She was in her late 30s and held my granddaughter as if she were her own. She wore a gold necklace around her neck and a slender bracelet with a heart-shaped pendant on her wrist, with the caption, Brunch with my favorite people. Love being part of your little village, sweet girl. The account was private, but the username was marked as @angelm.lake. I showed Caleb the photo that night. He turned pale. That's Marissa, he answered. Sierra met her in an online parenting group. They've been getting close, but she told me Marissa was just helping out with babysitting. He contacted his lawyer the next day. Sierra had not simply relocated to Seattle for room. She had signed a temporary lease with Marissa. Shared custody was not her intention. She wanted to replace Caleb entirely, he told me. She's building a case that I'm irrelevant. And now I'm starting to believe she planned this a long time ago. I said nothing, but I also believed it. I'd seen how she operated. She did not argue. She removed it. She erased. Clean and silent, just like she had with me. So I made my selection. I asked Caleb to let me handle the next phase. He did not like that. He said he didn't want me trapped in the middle. But I wasn't in the center anymore. I was already outside of it, looking in. I remembered something from some years ago. When Caleb and Sierra initially started dating, she would send me unsolicited articles about parenting techniques, food safety, emotional toxicity, and other topics. One of them had written a lengthy blog article about ethical parenting spaces. I remembered the name, Roots and River Collective. I did a Google search. Sure enough, they were based in Seattle. A combination of parenting blog, online therapy portal, and New Age support group. A lot of ambiguous terminology. There are no surnames provided, but one shot shows Sierra in the background at a healing resort. Same smile, same attitude.